Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of the You Must Be Bored podcast, coming to you live. Well, I guess not live, it's a recording, but coming to you on a Monday, September 15th, yes, 2025. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, it's football season is in full swing. I've got the, I guess there's a doubleheader Monday night game. Right now I have it on the Bucs at Houston against the Texans, and team-wise, I don't have a dog in this fight. Don't really particularly care for either team. I guess I have fantasy implications. I think I'm gonna lose again this week. I'm gonna be off to an 0-2 start, as is tradition. I have Nick Chubb, running back for the Texans, as the last guy who hadn't completed a game. And I'm down by way too many points for Nick Chubb to be responsible for covering. So I'm just chalking this up to a loss. Looks like they're getting smoked right now, the Texans. So, I guess getting smoked is a bit of an overstatement. They're not down by that much, honestly. They could easily turn this around. But it looks like, to me, just glancing at it, it looks like Tampa Bay has the Texans offense. Sometimes you can just watch and you can see it looks like they're struggling to even gain a few yards. Like a defense that makes it really hard for a good offense is evident when you watch it. It looks like Tampa's making it very difficult for Houston to put any points on the board. It's 14-10 though, so they did put 10 up there. Hard fought 10. So we'll see where this goes. And the later game is the Chargers at Vegas. So that should be interesting as well. I mean, that's a division game. It looks like Jim Harbaugh has those Chargers all charged up. They beat the Chiefs in their season opener. And, of course, Pete Carroll, Sneaky Pete, coaching for the Raiders in Vegas. And he's got them. He got them a win in their opening, too. So it's two 1-0 AFC West teams competing against each other. So that should be fun to watch, too. So all geared up, all wired up. I just got done recording the last bit of VO for Dead Guy's Black Panther versus Predator animated comic series that he was doing on his channel. And that's actually been a lot of fun. I told him, I still want to do more VO projects, so if he has anything in mind that I might be good for, swing them my way. I had previously also done a really short one with him. It was a Werewolf by Night, Craven the Hunter / Blade crossover. I did the voice of Blade. I never promote these things. I'm the worst at all of this shit because I just don't self-promote at all. I do things that I think are fun and then I just let them disappear into the void. So I really need to do a better job of promoting these. You can hear this over at a Dead Guy's channel, which I think YouTube forced him to change the name because I guess they didn't like that he had Dead Guy, or maybe even just Dead in the title. So let me see what his channel is actually called now. I think it used to be called like a Dead Guy. But yeah, so you should head over. ADG Comic Dubs is what it's called now. You should head over to ADG Comic Dubs, ADG, A Dead Guy, Comic Dubs. All of his stuff is really good, but the ones that I'm a part of would be the Werewolf by Night with Craven the Hunter and Black Panther versus Predator. I'm the narrator in that one. The Werewolf by Night one was really cool because he got some, the dudes that do the voice work on that are primo. They are top caliber voice talent, and it was very clear that I was outclassed by everyone around me. But I think I did enough to kind of hold my own. There was another YouTuber he got to do, a Russian YouTuber, he got to do the voice of Craven, who was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then he does the voice, Dead Guy does the voice of Werewolf by Night. And he was really good too. He's a really good voice actor. There's a reason why he does this stuff. So for me, this being my first foray into doing voice work, I'm just trying my best to sound like I belong on the docket. So go give those things a listen. They're pretty fun to do. I have a lot of fun doing them. And I hope to do more. He wants to do an X-Men one. Over the Executioner Song story arc, which is one of my all-time favorites. Lots of nostalgic memories with that one. because I believe that was the storyline that was going on when I first really got into X-Men, the X-Men comics as a kid. So it has that special kind of value for me. So we were talking about doing something over that too, but it gets tough coordinating, doing these kinds of things with, volunteer voice actors and stuff. It'd be different if this was like a professional paid production and paychecks were being signed out. People tend to show up on time and get their stuff done when a paycheck is there. But, being small time YouTubers and whatnot, and we're all just volunteering and doing stuff for fun, makes it a little bit difficult. And I definitely had my difficulties finding time to do this in between, my car breaking down, starting a new job, because this was going on even before I got the job I have now. But like finding job hunting to begin with, and then finding the job, starting it, and all the other things that are going on in between. There's a lot of stuff happening, so I'm glad that I found the time to finish this. I just wrapped up on the last bit of lines for Aliens or Black Panther versus Predator. So I want to do more. And I was actually talking to another friend of mine. She's getting into VO stuff. She's been auditioning for professional work, and she's great. She has a really great voice, like not like cartoon or comic book stuff, commercials. Like if you watch a fucking Chobani yogurt commercial and there's some cheery sounding girl talking about the calorie contents of a Chobani yogurt, she has a voice perfectly suited for that sort of thing. But it sounds like, I haven't really heard the full scope of her range. I want to, and I told her that we should just do some fun. Oh, Jesus, Baker Mayfield. What the fuck was that? You better be glad that just ended up as an incompletion. But I told her we should do some collabs too, just so she could put together a reel, because she has a voice that is well suited for doing this sort of thing professionally. If she can get a good reel together to send out to different agencies, but also it'd just be fun, and it helps to improve your craft, and that's definitely something I want to do. So there is that. I guess a little snippet of the other aspects of my life that I probably don't talk enough about. The VO work. Oh, denied. Well, you know what? Houston's defense looks like they're giving the Bucs a hard time too. So maybe this game isn't as much as a runaway. It's not. I didn't even think it was a runaway. It just looked to me like the Houston offense was struggling mightily just to gain a couple yards. But it also looks like the Bucs offense is struggling just the same. That's some great pass defense by Stately Jr. We'll see. Oh man, so anything interesting happened in the past week? Anything newsworthy? Anything noteworthy? Any high visibility political assassinations taking place anywhere? No, I didn't think so. Nothing important. Just life trudging on. The funny thing is, for most normal people, that is the case. Life just trudges on. I would be willing to bet money that the overwhelming majority of normies have no idea who Charlie Kirk even is, or why they should care. Although, interestingly enough, they've been made aware by people sharing copious amounts of his clips, which are probably not the best thing to share if you want to engender people to like the sympathies of his brutal demise. It happened on Wednesday. There was a shooter the whole thing is a fucking mess. Someone shot Charlie Kirk while he was debating some kid at a college campus in Utah. I didn't watch the video. I refused. I avoided it at all costs because it sounded very, very gruesome. But somebody shot him and got away for a little while. There was a metric fuck ton of misinformation. There still is, floating around immediately about who the killer was, etc., etc. Obviously, right-wingers immediately blamed the left, even though the left just doesn't do that sort of thing. The left are historically non-violent, a non-violent group of individuals, despite what right-wingers... that's why they have to categorize like graffiti as violence. Whenever you're, the violence of the left, they always have to recategorize or lower the threshold for what counts as violence so that they can increase the left's violence numbers compared to what the right does, which is like fucking kill abortion doctors and shit. and always do execution. Like the dude that took a shot at Trump was a registered Republican conservative. The guy that was setting up in the bushes at Mar-a-Lago with a gun voted for Trump in 2016. He was at the very least Trump oriented. I don't know if he was he seemed like a different type of dude though. Like he was conservative for sure, but I don't know to what he may have been MAGA at some point, but it seemed like his conservatism was more neoconservative. Like he may have voted for Trump in 2016 because he hated Hillary Clinton, but then he probably also wanted to uphold the European alliances in the way that a neocon would. But even still, Trump voter, there's a mentality there, and just the whole host of other fucking right-wing violence that just is so normalized now. It's not even really a shocking thing. Like a couple months ago, that right-winger killed that Minnesota state lawmaker, and a couple days later, everybody was just like, "Yeah, whatever." We forgot about it. Even Trump himself was like, so he and I guess to Trump's credit, he is being as callous and uncaring about Charlie Kirk's death as he was about that Minnesota lawmaker. He told Tim Walz he didn't want to waste his time going to her funeral. And when people keep and I guess he also skipped out on like a memorial for Charlie Kirk and went golfing instead. And every time like people were asking, "How are you holding up, Mr. President? How are you holding up?" He was like, "I'm doing fine. And by the way, look at these trucks. These trucks are beautiful, right? We've got everything." And it's like, God damn, dude. And he can't even pretend for a second like he cared about the dude. But hey, credit to him for being consistent on that one at least. But yeah, despite the fact that, right wingers constantly are the ones that are perpetrating insane levels of violence. Like the word out immediately from the shooting was that somehow the left was involved, even though there's no possible way anyone could have confirmed that because like it literally had just happened and the dude ran away. But then you had all these videos of like, oh, this guy is the culprit, and they were arresting some like old Dick Cheney looking boomer. And I was like, really, that guy? And then some other guy was arrested and he was yelling about shoot me. And it's like, what? And all sorts of weird shit. And like the FBI were bumbling and didn't know what the fuck they were doing. And then somehow this kid's dad turned him in. And now we have a suspect. He's in custody. And all the information that came out about him sounds like he was just some psycho groiper, which makes sense because, and that's a funny thing is, most normal Americans have no idea what the fuck a groiper is. So Google search terms for what is groiper skyrocketed after that kid got arrested, which is dire. Like, America, you do not need to know anything about that fucking subculture. Much, much better for your mental health to just not know. Like, some things don't need to be brought to the surface. Some things just deserve to live perpetually in the sewers. So people's interest in exactly what the hell is going on around such a confusing and psychotic situation perpetrated this boom in search terms for groiper and whatnot. Kid's family was super MAGA. They were all gun nuts. Like the grandma even came out and was like, "How dare you call us liberals? We are diehard MAGA." And it's like, all right, cool. Okay, so you're planting your flag there. It's undeniable that's what you are. But it doesn't matter to like propagandists who want to use this as like an opportunity. They're just gonna say whatever they want to say. They want to portray this kid to be some weird trans leftist or whatever. They're gonna say he's a weird trans leftist. Facts be damned. So that's what's going on out there right now, and they're using that as like some kind of excuse to like, I don't know, crack down on liberal groups or whatever the fuck they say they're going to do. I mentioned this in a previous episode. I still subscribe to the idea that you should just ignore them. Just ignore them. Like, none of their shit makes sense. A lot of their shit gets thrown out in court. I think it was actually, let me double check on this, because I think I saw a news item pertaining to such. Oh man, conservatives are so fucking weird. This wasn't what I was looking for, but what the fuck? GOP lawmaker file articles of impeachment for Pritzker over hateful rhetoric. That's the craziest thing. The last people on the planet who should be complaining about hateful rhetoric is the party of fucking psychotic right-wing lunatics who constantly call for like the death and imprisonment of anyone that might dare look at it. That's the other thing is like when we're talking about this kid being a groyper, like the leader of the Groyper movement is Nick Fuentes, a out and about avowed neo-Nazi, who, by the way, was also an ally of Trump. He had dinner with Trump and invited Kanye West along. It's that kid. And Nick Fuentes has been on a crazy harassment warpath against Charlie Kirk for a while now, for admittedly stupid reasons. But he's been doing that. So, like, if anyone is whipping these crazy right-wingers up into a frenzy to take pot shots at other crazy right-wingers, it's crazy right-wingers. This is a them problem. Like, this has nothing to do with the left or any normal person in America. This is psychos fighting psychos in the psycho pit. They should deal with their shit on their own, leave everybody else out of it. But they're trying their hardest to, like, finagle this into, like, oh, it's actually the liberals, and liberals are the ones with the heated rhetoric, like anyone who would be listening to Nick Fuentes and cavorting about with groypers on the internet are listening to what JB Pritzker has to say. Right? I don't think he speaks to that demographic, but I guess this lawmaker in Minnesota or Illinois is trying to connect that dot for some reason. And I know the reason. I'm trying to find the article that I was initially searching for. Maybe if I search for this. Yeah, Trump ended up deploying the National Guard to Memphis, and he keeps saying Chicago is probably next. But remember, Chicago was supposed to be next. Chicago was supposed to be the next one up. But J.B. Pritzker has been fighting that, and Trump has kind of backed down. He's kind of backed down from sending the Guard to Chicago and is now just kind of like, yeah, Memphis first, but then Chicago. So I think that J.B. Pritzker is winning that battle, I guess, in Illinois. Yeah, here's what it was. It's an article from Axios. Trump backs off Chicago National Guard threats. Chicago leaders are doing a victory lap on Friday after standing up to President Trump, who announced he's sending federal troops to fight crime in Memphis instead. Why it matters? Chicago's pushback on Trump's troop threat could be a model for other cities too. What they're saying is disturbing that the president is hell-bent on sending troops onto American streets. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker said on social media about the Memphis deployment, using those who serve in uniform as political props is insulting. None of this is normal. Because of the unified opposition from community leaders and elected officials in Chicago and throughout the state, the Trump administration backed down from its threats of sending the National Guard to Chicago, Mayor Brandon Johnson said in a statement. We continue to call on the federal government to send additional resources, but we reject any military occupation of our city. So yeah, again, like I mentioned in the last recording, these guys are paper tigers. You don't have to freak the fuck out over every single thing they said because they want you to freak the fuck out. You could largely ignore them, and when they try to do some shit, you just fight them back with as much ferocity as you can. Like, that's the best way going forward, is to ignore these people as much as humanly possible. Do not give them the illusion of power that they wish they had, and whenever they try to exercise whatever illusion power that they think they have, just fight back. Fight back. And they'll back down because they have no choice. And this is a clear indication of that. Like, you don't have to capitulate to the framing or the weird delusional reality that these people create for themselves in order to generate make-believe power. That's what they're doing. They create a reality that generates make-believe power. And then they try to impose that make-believe power on people using fear tactics and to make you afraid and make you fucking freak the fuck out every 5 or 10 minutes. So that illusion of power feels real, but it's still an illusion. So just ignore them. Ignore them. So yeah, that's so there are some crazy developments going on there. But with respects to the whole Charlie Kirk thing, honestly, I don't care. I don't care. I've always said that, like, for guys like Charlie Kirk, obviously, you don't want to have to resort to violence or anything. You shouldn't. It's not. It's that is something that is only like when you look at what happened with Nepal. Like that is where that shit is reserved for. Like if you have to do some drastic shit, you go to the administrators of governance and you do the drastic shit there. For talkers, influencers, and this isn't just like a self satisfied. So I mean, who am I influencing? Nobody. But for anybody in the media or just any normal person, don't do that. No violence. It's not necessary. And the best way to combat people like Charlie Kirk isn't violence. It's diminishment. You don't have to fucking take a swing at them. You just ridicule them. You ridicule the dumb things that they say. Or what's been happening is people have just been posting shit that he said in the past raw. You don't even need to add any flavor or any spices because the things that this dude has been saying has been insane from day one. So you just share that and people will get it. And then you make fun of them, you diminish them, you just take away their power and their influence that way. That's the problem. That's the problem that the right has always had. It's why they've invested so much over the past generation in media operations so that they won't have to. They know that their worldview is largely unpopular and could not win them straight up elections. Oh, he busted his helmet around his calf. Is he injured? Oh wait, no. I thought that was the running back that was hurt, but it looks like maybe they were thinking the corner got concussed. What's this guy's name? Al Shakir or something like that. Careful out there, guys. Shit, I lost my train of thought watching that football clip, that highlight. But yeah, like the reason why they invest in media for over a generation is because they know that their policies can't win straight up. So they have to manipulate everything else around the environment away from talking about the crazy shit that they actually want to enact in the world. I mean, there's plenty of video of prominent Republicans being like, we don't actually like democracy. We don't want everybody to have a vote. Not everybody should be allowed to vote and all this other sort of stuff. And the way that they manipulate language and we're reaching a point where none of that, the reason why you're seeing them lash out in crazy ways is because we're reaching a point where none of that shit matters or works anymore. I watched a video from More Perfect Union where Bernie Sanders is like talking to Trump 2025 supporters in West Virginia. And the reality is for so many people, like people are always talking about America is so divided. America is so divided. No, America is not divided. In fact, America probably hasn't seen this level of unity around a core set of issues and principles in a long time, if ever, because most people understand the problem. You can go to New York City, you go to fucking rural ass West Virginia, and they are all talking about billionaire consolidation of power, corporations not paying taxes, the government not providing necessary services to give people a good quality of life. That's basically it. Doesn't matter if you're left, right, center, top, bottom, whatever it might be. The general consensus among the people are those three things. And if you go out there and you talk to them, oh, that would have been a great catch from Mike Evans if his feet were in bounds. Oh, he didn't catch it. Okay, well, never mind. But yeah, like the general consensus among the people are those three things. So if you, and this is where the Democratic Party is playing their role in completely failing to live up to this moment. Like, oh, he doinked it. But the simplest thing in the world would be an outreach campaign to people in these disaffected areas, or even just in general, just anywhere. It works. It's a message that clearly resonates in rural and urban environments. But they don't want to do that because the Democratic Party is desperately trying to defend their donor base. And their donor base are these guys. So you see leaders like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer are desperate to avoid endorsing Zohran Mamdani in New York, even though Governor Kathy Hochul just did it. And Senator Chris Van Hollen is calling out people for not doing it. Like, the party is starting to fracture it's starting to fracture itself between establishment leaders who don't want to endorse Mamdani or Mamdani style politics, and the people that recognize that that's literally the only way going forward for Democrats. Because the problem is the Chuck Schumers and Hakeem Jeffries of the world, it's not just that they're refusing to endorse Mamdani, they're refusing to, or simply don't have, an alternative vision or strategy to propose in opposition of Mamdani. Like, they have nothing. They're just saying no to Mamdani and then, like, hiding in their basement or whatever. Like, they're not offering anything at all, which kind of shows you exactly what their priority is. And their priority is strictly defending the status quo for their donors, for their millionaire and billionaire donors. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter if that comes at the cost of Donald Trump getting away with whatever he wants to get away with. They're okay with Trump getting away with whatever he wants to get away with, so long as those donors are protected. That is what's being really brought to the surface in the Democratic Party here. And that's a fight that should have been had years ago. Like, honestly, it was the fight that started with Bernie 2016, but the Democratic Party won that fight. And then it really came to a surface in 2020, but was cut off at the knees by the 1-2 combination of one Democratic Party with Barack Obama at the helm, putting the kibosh on Bernie's presidential aspirations, and 2, COVID-19. And the radical unpopularity of Donald Trump giving the Democrats the one thing that they love more than anything else, which is an environment in which they can do nothing, make no real promises, do nothing, and win. And that's what they did. They sprinted to quote unquote the center, but really they ran to the right. They got Governor Kasich, a Republican governor of Ohio, to speak at the National Convention, and all these other Republicans, Mike Bloomberg speaking at the Democratic Convention. He ran for president too, as a Democrat after he switched parties. But all these Republicans, all these millionaires that they were catering to, they just sprinted over to them. And when Biden won, not because people were fucking head over heels over Joe Biden, because they just fucking hated Donald Trump and COVID was obnoxious, and they thought that changing from Trump meant changing from COVID. Biden subsequently spent the following years not really fulfilling a lot of his major promises. Like, he got CJ Stroud. What's going on with you, man? Oh, there may have been a holding flag on defense. Okay, that would explain that. But he got the infrastructure bill, and that was decent. I mean, it could have been more. Even Joe Manchin said it should have been more than what it was. But Build Back Better? No. $15 an hour minimum wage? No. The Protect the Right to Organize PRO Act? No. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act? No. The John Lewis Civil Rights Act or Voting Rights Act? No. Like, none of that shit that he campaigned on, like, saw the light of day. So it's no surprise that people were, and subsequently what happened was, the CHIPS Act was decent, and the Inflation Reduction Act was pretty good too, but that came a little too late. I think the relief from that came a little too late. Inflation had already sunk its teeth into way too many people. And there was no counterbalance of rising wages to offset that increase in inflation. And they didn't do the things they should have done, like, what Kamala was campaigning on at first, but then the fucking Uber executive told her to stop talking about it, and she actually listened to it because she's a fucking idiot. Price caps. There should have been price caps. Should have been like, oh, you can't raise your prices beyond this limit. Sorry, we're the government. We're telling you not to do that. Even Trump and his administration are batting around the ideas of doing more centrally planned governance like that, which is great. I think it should have always been that way. But that plus the Israel stuff really put the kibosh on Biden and just open the door wide open for what we're witnessing, what we're seeing now. And the Democratic Party has never been held to account for any of those failures. They've never been held to account for those failures, and they're doing nothing and offering absolutely nothing as a counter to anything we're seeing from Trump or for their opposition to guys like Mamdani. Like, they're offering nothing. They're doing nothing. It's insane. It's insane. And I guess they think they can get away with it. I think to a certain degree, a part of the strategy for them is, well, things are going so terribly and are only ever going to be on track to get worse that this literally is a situation where doing nothing will net us more positive gains than anything else. And we've had special elections in these past few months and whatnot that have kind of shown that. Even though the Democratic Party brand nationally is like trash, it's worth less than fucking shit on the bottom of a shoe. The Democrats are still wiping the floor with these special elections. And now the one in Virginia is a little different. Like, that was a Kamala plus 30 district or something like that. And the dude Wilkerson won that by like plus 50. So that's nothing special in my view. But there have been other places that have been Trump voting districts in 2025 or 2024 that ended up voting overwhelmingly for Democrats. So I think a part of that strategy is, let's just stay out of the way and the Republicans will hang themselves, which isn't inaccurate. It isn't an inaccurate thing, but I don't think that's enough. I think people in America right now, they need a vision. Like, it is true that there is a rise of political violence. Again, it's mostly on the right, but that doesn't mean that those people aren't human beings. It doesn't mean those people aren't American citizens. It doesn't mean those people aren't feeling pressed from one thing or another. And it doesn't mean those people aren't susceptible to both crippling mental illness and misinformation or disinformation campaigns. All of those things are true. All of those things are true, and we need to combat it. And the best way to combat it is to improve people's quality of life. Improve our educational attainment, our output there. Like, we have to have a vision that says all is not lost. Don't succumb to despair. Don't think the only way that you can change things for the better is to grab a gun and fucking make your name known in the headlines. Like, we have a vision, we have a plan, we hear you, we see you, we feel you. Join us. You can make a difference by joining our movement, our cause. That's, I think, one of the big draws to progressive politics, like Mamdani's campaign. He's got a shit ton of volunteers, a ton. And it's a trait of progressive politics in general. Like, a lot of the people that get involved in those campaigns are organizers, whether they're organizers with the DSA or Working Families Party or Democratic Farm Labor or whatever kind of organizing campaign that they've been a part of. They know how to organize in the community, get volunteers. You get a shit ton of volunteers because people want to get involved. They want to feel like they can contribute to making life better for people. And people who don't know how to do that are more susceptible to grabbing a gun and, doing some crazy shit, especially if they're already mentally ill and they aren't getting the treatment that they need. But that's a part of the thing that we should be campaigning on as a vision, is we can get you the treatment you need. We have a plan and a strategy in place for providing free healthcare for everyone, but also at the same time, we need more doctors, we need more healthcare providers, more therapists, more psychiatrists, and all of this sort of stuff. We can't just turn healthcare on and then expect it to be magical. Like, there's a whole heavy lift that's going to be required in order to get people the services that they need, but we have a plan for that. We could do it. It's attainable. It's achievable. And if you already know that millionaires and billionaires consolidating power, cheating on their taxes, stealing your tax revenue to increase their profit margins and increase their unrealized gains, as it were, if you realize that's a problem, then you also realize that all of the funding problems that we have for these services come as a function of that revenue being shrunk, of tax revenue being shrunken down, and then that shrunken revenue being inadequate for funding these programs. And so, oh, by the way, we can't afford these things, so we're going to have to cut these programs. We're going to cut Medicare. We're going to cut Medicaid. We're going to cut Social Security, et cetera, because we can't afford it anymore. We can't afford it. It's like, of course we can afford it. We just got to tax the people that need to be taxed. And I think the overwhelming majority of people get that. Like when I watch Bernie Sanders in West Virginia talking to 2024 Trump voters, they all got that. They understood it. So you just need to have that vision and that message and the volunteer corps that could really go out and reach those people and talk to them on a mass scale, on a wide scale. It has to be a big coordinated effort that can connect all these things together in a movement that can truly drive both bottom up and top down change. Like this is a grassroots movement that from the bottom up, but then you got to get those people into Washington where the money is. I mean, that's the whole function of the government. Tax money gets collected around the country and sits in a pot in Washington, and you send your representatives to Washington to figure out how to divvy up that money and what to do with it. It goes back to this town to build this bridge. It goes back to this town to build this train station. It goes here to give healthcare to people or give whatever. It goes out to people, but you have to have your representatives going to Washington to figure all that sort of stuff out, crafting legislation that makes that possible. So that's the bottom. That's the top down part of it. You have to have it. It can't just be bottom up. It has to also have a top down component, but that top down component has to respond to the pressure of the bottom up. And that's the real promise of, progressive politics. But the Democratic Party shuns that. They don't like it. They're not a fan of it. They don't believe in it. They don't aspire for it. And they'll do anything and everything they can in their power to crush it. And now we're seeing that fraction happen with the Mamdani campaign at the center. I think J.B. Pritzker, if he does have presidential aspirations, I think he's probably best positioned to be that bridge between the progressive movement and the establishment Democrats, because he is significantly more progressive than most Democratic governors. He's far more progressive than Gavin Newsom, but he is a billionaire himself, so he could speak to that money in ways that I guess Bernie Sanders can't. Not that I think we need to cater to it, but if we're gonna have this fragmentation of the party, it's gonna be helpful for those of us who believe that guys like Pritzker need to pay more in taxes can speak to, if not be allied with, guys like Pritzker who also believes his taxes need to be raised. So it's good that he's got this national prominence for having successfully fended off Trump's weird National Guard shit. That's definitely good. I hope that he organizes a campaign amongst other Democratic governors to have them successfully fend this shit off. He's been more successful in this than Gavin Newsom. So there is that. Gavin Newsom just has a much better media operation. But there are things happening within the Democratic Party that has shown some positive steps, but the leadership is a real problem. The leadership is hamstringing the entire country, because not being able to adequately combat Trump, to keep him occupied with fighting you out, so he isn't fighting literally citizens on the streets, that's a failing. That's a huge failing, and it's a destructive one. It's interesting. I was watching a video about the soybean farmers who were talking about how in last year, I guess, 2024, China purchased $12 billion worth of soybeans from America. And in 2025, so far, it's been zero, not a single dollar of soybeans purchased from China. And they're getting it from Brazil now. And there's all this stuff in the news about farmers across America filing for bankruptcy at record numbers, and the threat that tariffs have towards soybean farmers, corn farmers, et cetera, et cetera. And it came out that apparently J.D. Vance and maybe a few other Trump officials are investment partners with a company that God, my throat is all getting dry. I don't have my cup of water on me, so after having read all those voice acting lines and then rolled directly over into doing this podcast, my throat is getting a little ripped. My throat's getting a little ripped up. But let me see. What is the name of this? Let me see if I can find it. But yeah, it's a company that basically Acre Trader. Acre Trader is the name of it. And basically what they do is they buy foreclosed farmlands. They buy foreclosed farmlands. So it seems like it's pretty conflicty of interesty to have like the president or vice president and administration officials financially invested in a company that purchases foreclosed farmlands at a time when your trade policy is forcing a record number of bankruptcies and potential foreclosures on farmlands. Seems a little corrupt. It seems a little corrupt. So that's the kind of stuff that we should be fighting harder against, but we're not. I don't see anyone fighting against that. I don't see anybody of any prominence even mentioning it. So it's a weird situation. It's a weird moment for sure. And I gotta say, I've said everything that I'm gonna say or need to say about the Charlie Kirk situation. It's garnered far more attention than it ever deserved, honestly. At its very core, he was just a victim of the same thing that too many Americans are victims of every day, which is random, insane gun violence. That's all. And at the same time that he was getting killed, there was a mass shooting at a high school in Colorado that killed a couple of kids from, surprise, surprise, a white supremacist. Like, it's just so common now. It's just such a common part of our day-to-day that it doesn't really even register as anything other than just, well, another one of those happened. And that's all it really is. It's just the target was different. The target was a little bit more visible. Not like it was worth anymore. It's not like the life of Charlie Kirk was worth more than the life of, a kid going to, tech ed at his high school or whatever. Do they still have tech ed? Maybe I just dated myself. I probably just dated myself by saying tech ed. I haven't thought about, I mean, this is how you know I'm not a conservative. I haven't thought about high school in a long time, where a lot of those dudes keep hanging around high schools until they end up getting thrown in prison. I don't really think about high school all that much, so I don't know what classes kids are even taking nowadays. Is tech ed still a thing? They call it different? Is it woodworking or whatever? I guess it is. I guess it's still around. Technology education should not be confused with educational technology. Wait, there's an ed tech? Educational technology focuses more on a narrow subset of technology use that revolves around the use of technology in and for educational or education as opposed to technology education. What the fuck does this sentence mean? Okay, so there's a tech ed and an ed tech. It's split. It's split like an amoeba. Okay. Anyway, I know the last few episodes I did were pretty long. I may end up cutting. Oh, Baker Mayfield scrambling. Oh no! He's reaching for his leg. Oh wait, he popped up. He's fine. He's fine. He's trying to fight. Gardner Johnson now. Baker Mayfield. He always got a lot of flack about having an attitude or whatever. That's never been a problem for me, honestly. Like, if you can put up the numbers, then have whatever attitude you need, just so long as you're not getting stupid 15-yard penalties over it. But what happened there? It looked for a second like he really hurt his leg, like he was rolling around grabbing at his knee. So I thought that something bad had happened, but he just popped up and then tried to get into a fist fight, I guess. We'll see. Ooh. There's a flag on this play, too. They're playing with some pepper, man. I got to tell you, the Texans are playing with some pepper. The Texans defense. What's this flag, though? I have it muted, but okay, it's on the defense. Okay, it looks like it's on the defense. What was that? Was that PI? That must have been a. Okay, it's past the 5 yards. I think that's what they were calling on. It seems a little ticky-tack, but he was contacting him past the 5 yards, so I could see that. I can't argue one way or another. All I know is that this is getting a little chippy now. It's getting a little chippy. It's 1st and 10. And Baker's under center. He's changing the play. He's changing the play. Wait, no, there's a flag. Oh, it was offsides. You see, that's how chippy it gets. That's how chippy it gets. These guys are itching. They're all wired up. They're all jacked up and itching to go. Pop off sides at a moment's notice. Todd Bowles always looks like he just ate. He always looks like he just ate a bowl of chili and tasted an ingredient that he can't identify. He always looks like he's just tasted something that he can't quite recall. Like, I can't tell if this is going to be bad for me later or not. I know it's a familiar taste, but oh man, weaving. Bobbing and weaving. I don't even know how many. Let me see. Let me check on my fantasy team and see how many points Nick Chubb, if any. He may have been a healthy scratch, honestly. I haven't been paying attention. 0. No, he's got 6.6. I'm not gonna win this. I'm getting stomped. He has Mike Evans. I'm playing against someone that has Mike Evans. And also Brock Bowers, who's playing on Vegas on the Raiders later tonight. So I've got no hope. I'm getting smoked. I'm not coming back from this one. I got hurt this week ironically, by Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen had like 53 fantasy points last week, but this week he only had 13 because their run game was so dominant against the Jets that he just didn't need to pass it all that much. And because Keon Coleman performed so well in week... Oh, Baker, he dropped the ball. Ooh, scramble. Oh, I think someone just got smacked in the dome on the floor on the Texans. Oh, well, there's a Buck that's hurt for sure. That was a mad scramble to the ball. But because Keon Coleman did so well last week, I was like, I had him on my bench. I was like, all right, I'm just going to toss him up into the main and see what happens. But I had Cooper Kupp and I replaced Keon Coleman because Cooper Kupp had like 3 points. But then I have him in my lineup. Keon Coleman gets me 5 points. Cooper Kupp got 16. I have Dallas's tight end, Ferguson. He got 16. I have Atlanta's running back who got 15. My running backs didn't get shit. Well, Montgomery got 13, but that's barely anything. I mean, I just my roster is so fucking spotty, man. My roster is so spotty. I don't know what I'm going to do after this week. I guess maybe I don't know if I want to give up on Coleman. I need to see who we play next. Douglas on the Patriots. Usually he's a reliable target for Drake May. They have that kind of relationship, but he only got me 1 point last week. So I might put Cooper Kupp. Sam Darnold, I like Sam Darnold more than I like Drake May, so I think I'll put Cooper Kupp in that spot. Sam Laporta, I don't think he's doing much in Detroit, so I think I may put Ferguson in his spot. Algier, this running back, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what to do with my backs. I have Nick Chubb and Montgomery. I may spot him in for Nick Chubb. I don't know. My team is spotty, man. My team is spotty. I'm not a fan of how this fantasy season is unfolding for me. Oh man, what even time is it? What time is the second? I think the second game starts at like 9. I'll try to catch that. I am getting kind of hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I feel like I have a lot more energy for recording these sorts of things when I haven't eaten. Usually I eat something beforehand, and then I'm just kind of like, oh. So I don't know. Maybe I need to make a habit of eating after. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me today. I went on my rants. I gave you my life updates. I hope I do get to do more voice acting stuff. We'll see. I also got to figure out what I'm going to do for Halloween. It's officially Halloween season in my brain. So I got to figure out if I'm going to do something for the channel, for the month of Halloween. I want to. I got to figure out my Halloween costume too. I want to do that sooner rather than later because I always end up with some shitty costume that I have to buy off of Amazon like 2 days before Halloween. I don't want to do that this year, so I'm gonna figure something out. But I'll catch you guys next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Hopefully we have a mild, chill. Oh shit! Blocked punt recovered by the Texans. Damn, I'm telling you, man. They're fired up. They're fired up, man. The Texans are fucking fired up. They're playing chippy. They're playing hard. Damn, they blocked it and recovered it right there on the spot. I think they were at the 40. The Bucs were at their own 40, I believe. Which puts the Texans into fantastic field position. If CJ Stroud, maybe, oh man, he spun him around in the fucking air too. He really got to him. Are they gonna call running it to the kicker? They shouldn't, because he did block the kick. It's not like he ran into him after the ball was okay, they didn't. Good. All right, Stroud, what do you got in you? What do you got? He takes the snap from shotgun. Oh, overthrew. He was open too. Settle your nerves, man. He spent too much time big brothering he's been too much time little broing all these other quarterbacks in the league. I don't think he's done that this year. That was something he did last year, which made him a villain in my eyes. I was always neutral on CJ Stroud, but then he kept little broing all these other fucking rookie quarterbacks. And it's like, dude, you're in your second year. Chill out. We still don't even know what you're made of yet. But, incomplete pass. He hands it off. Is that Chubb, motherfucker? Did you just lose a yard? I mean, I'm not going to win my game, so it doesn't really matter, but I don't want you losing yards on me. Oh, man. Texans fans do not look happy right now. They're shaking their head. I don't know. I mean, oh, it's 3rd and 10. Sometimes I don't pay attention to the passing of downs. Yeah, 3rd and 10. They went nowhere. They got advantageous field position from a block punt, and they've gone nowhere with it. You're in 4th. Oh, man, what the fuck? Oh, he almost threw a pick. He dropped it. I mean, you're at 4-down territory here. You can't punt the ball. Kicking a field goal. Are you really going to kick a field goal? You'll still be down by 1. You'll still be down by 1 if you kick a field goal. You must really be. I mean, I guess the Houston defense has been pretty good all game. They might be able to force another punt. Is this Kaimi Fairbairn? That guy's been there for forever. All right, Fairbairn, what is your leg looking like? Oh no! Ooh, he squeaked it in. He just squeaked it in. 53-yarder. Down by 1. All right. They have all their timeouts. 5 minutes and 22 seconds. That's plenty of time still. If their defense can rise to the occasion, then they can force a 3-and-out. And they might still get a good chunk of time on the clock for them to mount their own comeback. It seems like this has been a real defensive slog. I mean, it's been 14. I guess maybe Buffalo Bills football has spoiled me. I'm just so used to it's like, oh, we got the ball. Okay, we're getting points. We got the ball. We're getting some points. We're either getting 7 or we're getting 3 at the very least. So we're getting some points. But this has been it's been 14-10 for a while, and now it's just now 14-13. So defensive battle here. Will CJ Stroud have his own Josh Allen comeback moment? I mean, this isn't quite the same thing. We were getting our asses beat all game, down by 15, while Derrick Henry was running up and down the field like a freight train on us. But, I mean, comebacks are comebacks, man. All right. Kicked off. Touchback. Am I going to do a live play-by-play for the rest of this game? Is that what's going to happen? I thought I was going to get out of this podcast a little earlier than usual, but now I'm just doing a play-by-play. Which, you know, maybe that's interesting to you guys. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Who knows who's even listening to this besides fucking genetic memory farms? Ugh. Oh, yeah, I did get my car back. The Kia boys smashed the back window and tried to steal it, but couldn't because I had already done the upgrade to protect it from theft. But that didn't stop me from having to pay a shit ton of... Oh, there's actually an interesting wrinkle in this. So I paid to get my car out. Had to change the battery because they left the door open when they tried to steal it and killed my battery. But I had purchased a new battery from Jiffy Lube in June, so it was still under warranty. So I just took it over there, swapped it out, no problem. I'm back to normal. And I spent Saturday. I spent Saturday taking my car it had a spa day. My car had a spa day. I washed it twice. Why twice? Well, the first time I hand washed it myself, I had like $7 in quarters and went to the car wash place and put those quarters in. And I got most of it done, but I had to scramble towards the end, and I ran out of time, and there was still some soap that left some spots, and it was clean enough. I got all like the bird poop and tree sap and shit off of it, but it was still kind of spotty. So I ended up taking it to another place where there was a guy who actually wiped shit down for me. So outside looks immaculate. Cleaned the inside out entirely. Vacuumed it. I have a little shampooer that I use to steam clean or shampoo upholstery. So I cleaned all my seats and the floors, the floor mats. I had a spray and some wipes and shit and sprayed the dash, wiped that off, the console, the center console and everything. Took the cup holder trays out, washed them in the kitchen sink. Like everything in there is immaculate. Took some Armor. Oh, Baker. Oh, he just got smacked in the fucking dome. I mean, not literally. He got sacked, but the sack came from a downward swipe that looked like it was going to be like a hammer fist on his face. 4th down already? Okay, so Texas, Jesus, man, I'm talking about my fucking car, and in a few short sentences, it's already fucking 4th down. What happened, Bake? What happened? You should have taken off right there. He tried to launch it. He got greedy. He was going to launch it downfield, but like his line just wasn't going to cover for him that way. Now they got a punt. Hope they don't get blocked again. And they didn't. They got the punt off just fine. And, oh, he whiffed on the tackle. Oh, my God. He's going to take it to the house, isn't he? He's at the 40. Oh, my God. He took it. Oh, wait, there's a flag. Kick return all the way to the fucking 25-yard line, but there's a flag, so we'll have to see. Man, the Bucs are collapsing. How do you collapse like this, guys? All right, what's the flag, though? Is it going to be a block in the back, way back in the return? That's usually how it is with big returns. That's it. Is that what it was? Or do they pick up the flag? I'm trying to see. I'm watching the replay without any audio. I can't really see. No, I think they may have picked up the flag because I'm not seeing any obvious foul. I think they picked it up. What a collapse, man. Tampa Bay, what a fucking collapse. I mean, they're already in field goal range. Honestly, this might be worse. For Houston. Honestly, like they could go up with a field goal, sure, but they can give the ball back to Tampa, who also has all their timeouts with plenty of time to make up. Like, if you're Tampa, what do you do? I mean, I guess you're okay. Handed it off. No yards gained. Just ran it back to the line. Now the clock is gonna bleed. I think that's Houston's play, is to bleed the clock and then force Tampa into a situation where, I mean, they could still win it with the field goal. I feel like if I'm Houston, I want to score a touchdown here, because you don't want Tampa to have to win it on a field goal. You want to make them have to score a touchdown. Although they've been having a wide open hole. Oh, that's Chubb. Is he getting me points? Chubb in the end zone. Touchdown. That's what I'm talking about. 14 pending field goal. 14-20. But are they going for 2? I guess they kind of have to. Go for 2, because if the Bucs do answer with the touchdown and a field goal, they could win. Whereas with 2, if they get this 2-point conversion, they could tie. And they have to score a touchdown now anyways. They can't win it on a field goal. So I guess it makes sense to go for 2. This has turned into something. How did this turn into something on my way out? All right, how many points do you have for me now, Chubb? Yeah, I mean, I'm not winning this, but at least he got me something. At least he got a little bit of something. Whatever. All right, maybe I'll reconsider my benching him strategy. They busted a hole. All right, they take the snap for the 2. Oh my God. They fucking sacked his ass immediately. But hey, you know what? They're kind of still in the same situation. They still need to force Tampa Bay to score a touchdown. That's the key part there. They still need to. They still have to force Tampa Bay to score a touchdown. Oh man. Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm kind of having fun doing the sports, the football narration thing. I know that I'm not as knowledgeable on the game as some announcers, but I feel like I'm having fun. Are you having fun? I'm having fun. I was supposed to bounce from this podcast like 20 minutes ago, but I got caught up because like the game became exciting. And now it's like a fist fight. We're almost at the 2-minute warning, and it's a 1-score game. Well, not a 1-score. It's a touchdown. A 1 touchdown. Okay. Are the Bucs going to be blessed with a good return? Not really. Got it to the 30. Oh, there's a flag. Might even be worse than that. Baker's got his day cut out. He's got his work cut out for him. He's sauntering onto the field trying to figure out what the fuck he's going to do. Use your legs, Baker. Use your legs. Like, if the defense is putting that much heat on you, like, and your line can't keep up, use your legs, man. Scramble. Keep those guys honest. Make them pay for the pursuit. The Lions and the Ravens next Monday, huh? That should be an interesting one. All right. 1st and 10 at the 30. Baker's in shotgun. Takes the snap. Dumps it off to his running back, who, okay, he's got about 11-point gain, or 11-yard gain, rather. Not the worst start in the world, but they hit the 2-minute warning, so we'll have to see. This is coming down to it. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll just edit all this part out. I don't think people are coming here to listen to me talk about sports, but I mean, people aren't coming here at all, generally speaking. So I guess I could do whatever I want. Maybe I'll just stick to this. Like, I'm not catering to any real audience. Jesus, every time I start doing something, my phone gets blown up. Yep. Oh, wait, hold on. You know what? I am going to actually have to end this. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it as always. That's it for this episode. I will be back next week, hopefully. This is a much tamer week, a much less historically eventful week, a much less stressful week for everybody, not just me. I hope to see you all next week with good news. So take it easy, everyone.